Hello and welcome to the DweltOggy Show, the most inconsistent show on the internet. And by inconsistent I mean it takes roughly 7-month gaps between episodes. Well, maybe not the most inconsistent, but certainly in the top 20% of inconsistent shows. You may not have noticed, but we here at the BluntLemons like Halo games. Well, specifically me. And by like, I mean like a lot. If you chronicle my most played games, at least 4 of them will probably be Halo games. So needless to say, when Halo 5 came out, I was incredibly hyped. And it both delivered and failed to live up to what I wanted it to be. Oh, and by the way, it's spoilers for the game's campaign. The game's more than 2 years old now, so that shouldn't put you off too much, but hey, it's a needed warning all the same. So, without further ado, let's talk Halo 5. By far, the most controversial aspect of Halo 5 was the campaign and the myriad fuck-ups that it entailed. So first of all, let's look at the largest failing of the campaign, and that was an entirely misleading marketing campaign. The problem wasn't really in what the game did here, although there's plenty of problems to be found in the execution as well, but in what the game was promised to be, and the fact that it was completely different, really. The advertising told us the Chief had gone rogue, and new Spartan on the block, Locke, was to hunt him down and get the truth. As a massive fan of Halo lore, that was a really interesting proposition and an interesting twist on the Halo formula.
As our savior, and not our betrayer. Let us see him forever as you, and not as you.
Well, that's definitely not what we got. Early on, the game establishes what the Chief is doing, and by like a quarter of the way through the game, the mission changes from save the Chief instead of hunting him down. All the tension and twists of the trailers and marketing basically boil down to one hilariously slow-paced fistfight between Spartan Luke Cage and the Chief. I can't really blame the game for the palpable sense of disappointment I felt in the resolution to the story thread. It doesn't help me look at the campaign in a very positive light. However, what I can blame the game for is the actual content of the campaign itself. The main problem I have with the actual campaign is that the actions of the characters and the player does have literally no effect on the events that are happening in the context of the wider Halo universe, or even what's going on around them. They don't even know what Cortana is up to until the final mission. Everything that happens would have happened whether we were there or not. The Guardian waking up on this colonial planet would have happened regardless. The Arbiter defeating the Covenant on Sangelios, that would have happened anyway, in exactly the same way. Cortana's AI rebellion would have happened anyway. She even says that while that you've been wasting your time. That she's been implementing her plan elsewhere while you've been fighting and trying to save the Chief.
While you've been running around the galaxy, I've been speaking to my created.
There's not a single event that would have been affected by Luke Cage and the cardboard cutout staying home and staring at a blank wall instead. The only thing actually achieved was mildly irritating Cortana on a few occasions. Even killing the game's main boss is ultimately a pointless activity, as Cortana points out.
Fair warning, he has a single mind, but a few million bodies.
The Master Chief sections are a bit better, but there are only like 3 missions in the whole game with him, so it really doesn't help to take away from the gripes I have with the campaign as a whole. On a side note, the game introduces Fireteam Osiris. The problem here being that outside of Buck, who we only like because of his strong showing in Halo 3 ODST, they're the most personalityless characters in any Halo game. Okay, maybe not worse than Carter and the Halo Reach team. They sucked.
You're in my light, Commander.
However, Halo 5 does do a good job of taking us to places that are really interesting to someone who follows the Halo lore a fair bit. Visiting a human colony on top of a glass planet was a cool way to see how humanity is rebuilding after the Human Covenant War. Finally seeing the Elite's homeworld and seeing the Civil War the Covenant found themselves in Halo 3 was really cool. Seeing what became of some fan favourite characters was really cool as well, Halsey, Buck and Blue Team being the highlights of that particular positive. While I believe the campaign to be a low point for Halo campaigns, especially after that high Halo 4 offered, it definitely does not hit the mark and leaves me ultimately disappointed and wanting more. Not to mention the strange design decisions made in the game, like these pointless missions where you can't shoot and you just kind of wander around this like sandbox area for 4 to 5 minutes talking to random NPCs, looking at your watch, hoping it's over soon. can't talk Halo 5's campaign without mentioning the single worst boss fight in any Halo game. Possibly any game ever. That's hyperbole, but anyway. If this fight happened only once, then maybe this would have been forgotten as an inoffensively bad boss fight that ultimately meant nothing to you. However, you don't fight him once, not even twice, but 6 fucking times. Each time is more and more annoying than the last, I might mention. They progressively get more and more annoying until you're fighting 3 of the fucking bastard at once. On Heroic and Legendary, this is particularly annoying. You only take significant damage from the back, and your AI teammates are clinically brain dead, so are basically no use.
Before it begins, you dare!
It feels like 25% of the runtime of this game's campaign is taken up by this goddamn fucker. I hate boss fights at the best of times, and this one fight is repeated over and over again, to the point where it might be the biggest source of damage to my Xbox One controller. With the current loot box controversy raging throughout the gaming industry, it only feels right to mention the incredibly misguided progression system Halo 5 introduced. I should probably mention that I've gone on record a long time ago defending this decision by 343, and for the most part I still hold some positives about the system. They did give us all the maps for free instead, and that does make for a better playing experience for the most part, even if most of the maps did feel kind of forgettable in the end. They also limited the damage to one game mode as well. However, at the same time it's made the progression system, well, more than a little irritating. For those who don't know, Halo 5 was one of the early games to try out the loot box system, and well, it's pretty bad. Everything that can be unlocked in the game are tied to randomly getting them in a loot box. It took forever to get the fucking helmet I wanted. It took all the fun out of unlocking helmets that was in the previous Halo games, such as 4, Reach, and even 3. Cosmetics aren't the only thing in the crates though. You can also unlock power weapons and power-ups that can be used in the Warzone game type, literally buying power. On the plus side though, I will say that Warzone is designed in such a way that it isn't really a problem, as only weapons of the correct cost can be called in throughout the match, meaning the game has a nice feeling progression doesn't feel solely decided on who has the best stuff from the crates. No, the real problem is the random nature of unlocks. I hate random unlocks. Just give me what I want, 343. Just give me the damn Halo 2 BR. I know you've got it somewhere. It'll be in the next crate. Yeah, just one more crate. It can't harm. It can't harm me. Fuck, they got me, didn't they? God damn you, 343. I complained a lot about Halo 5, and with good reason. It's a very flawed game, and there's a lot to point at and laugh at. But at the end of the day, I feel the game succeeds in some vital ways. Halo Reach, and to a greater extent Halo 4, felt like games that knew Halo needed to evolve and tried. Armor abilities and the sprinting from Halo 4 tried to merge Halo sensibilities with a modern shooter. From a gameplay perspective, Halo 5 succeeds where they failed. Halo 5 is smooth and fluid, it feels like Halo but new. The clambering and thrusters make movement feel fresh while keeping that Halo feel intact. The time to kill is shorter than it used to be, but that has that distinct Halo flavour. The multiplayer is really superb, the maps are well designed, and the 60 FPS really helps its smooth feeling. I genuinely believe that this is the best feeling Halo game ever. It's just a shame that the rest of the game failed the pedigree of the rest of the Halo series. I hope 343 learns for Halo 6. They nailed story in Halo 4 and gameplay in Halo 5, now they just need to combine both of that for 6 and we'll be good. And with Microsoft's new Game Pass policy, the game should definitely have an audience as well. Well, that was Halo 5, a game of high highs and low lows, kinda like the DweltOggy Show. When it's good, when it's bad, it's really, really bad. I'm looking at you, video game freedom discussion. Well, that's our show this week. Like it if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, tell me what you think of Halo 5, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more DweltOggy shows or other Blunt Lemon content. And also, when you subscribe, don't forget to ring the little notification bell as well. That helps tell you when our videos go live. Now that the shilling is done, here's Blue Team attempting to kill a hunter.
Hunter on the move! Thanks. Hunter's Vincent on your feet! Need some help! System's locked.